Research shows that people you hang out with have a bigger effect on how your life goes than just about anything else. They influence the choices you make, they influence the standards you set for yourself, they influence the other people that you're going to meet in the future. But the weird thing is, people hardly talk about this. We talk about romance and how to date, but did anyone ever teach you how to have friends? No, it's assumed that we'll just pick it up by osmosis or from our families. If this is something your parents didn't model for you, or they couldn't model for you because they were really limited or damaged in this area too, you are so not alone. Especially for people who grew up with trauma, learning to have friends and be a friend is so tricky. Maybe you struggle to have friends, or you have friends, but the relationship stays on the shallow end, and you don't get close. Or you get close, but then your trauma symptoms can get the better of you, and something happens to trigger you, and the whole thing blows up. Big argument, little argument that you can't really recover from, or the friendship just crumbles. Has this happened to you? I'm guessing it's happened a number of times. If you grew up with abuse and neglect, there's a high probability that having friends is a part of life that gets hard for you sometimes. And this is a big reason why unhealed trauma can be so devastating to your life over time. You end up isolated. You don't have those people who love you and get you and who are there for you when you need them. And this is really important. Not having that is a big setback, and I'm sure that it's robbed you in some ways of the life that you deserve. But the good news is, this can change, and you can heal. And the path of your life can start getting better right now if you can develop some friendship skills and learn to form friendships with good people. Now, this is something I had to really work on in my life. My trauma symptoms kind of got worse over time in my early adulthood, and so good friends that I had were pulling away. And I didn't know what was wrong. Now I know, now we all know, it's complex PTSD, and it has a common pattern of symptoms that once you know what they are, even if you haven't totally healed them yet, it can clarify what may have been going on and going wrong in your friendships, and what part of these problems is something you can change. So here's what I learned. First, it's so important that you pick the right people for friends, because if you're like a lot of people with childhood PTSD, you find that troubled people have this funny allure for you. What is it about them? It's a mystery. They feel so charmingly comfortable, so unthreatening, so much like home. And maybe you have a history of buddying up with the most troubled kid in the class, or somebody who turns out to have a drug problem, or people who are really not available to be good friends. So the first thing is to start identifying who would be the good, healthy people for you to hang out with. Now, we talk about this a lot in my dating and relationships course and in my connection course, because this broken picker problem is really common for people with childhood PTSD. But the way you choose friends can be just as rickety. Now, the key to get clear with yourself is to actually write down what characteristics are absolutely essential for you. So let's say it's that people are kind, right? They're honest. They reciprocate your interest in